to People that this impending lawsuit will expose what he says is the truth behind Lively's complaint. He said, quote, "This is not a response or countersuit. It's a deliberate pursuit of truth."
This article triggered Baldoni's $250 million defamation suit, in which he accuses the New York Times of deliberately distorting facts and cherry-picking evidence to create a narrative of misconduct. Meanwhile, Blake Lively filed her own lawsuit detailing allegations of harassment and retaliation. Now, both cases are headed for a legal showdown.
During improvised kissing scenes, and also shot those scenes more times than would be expected to be reasonable, and during a scene where no audio was recorded, that Baldoni spoke to her out of character, not as the person he plays in the film, then licked her neck and said it smells so good, and after being confronted by this behavior, told Lively that he wasn't even attracted to her. Again, this is according to the complaint.
The New York Times article alleged that Baldoni orchestrated a smear campaign to silence Lively after she brought up concerns about his behavior. According to the report, Lively claimed that Baldoni frequently crossed professional boundaries, entering her trailer uninvited, making inappropriate comments, and pressuring her into uncomfortable situations.
During another scene, Lively claims Baldoni improvised a kissing scene according to the complaint. Mr. Baldoni discreetly bit and sucked on Ms. Lively's lower lip during a scene in which he improvised numerous kisses on each take.
When Lively expressed her discomfort, the article alleged that Baldoni and his PR team retaliated by planting negative stories about her in the media.
Her and made her want to give you over the movie rights. I mean, she had a lot of requests.
Yeah, I don't know if, again, I feel like there was some divine guidance there. I don't think it was the words. I think it was the intention and the why that I wanted to make the movie, and the heart that I try to put in everything that I do. And I think at the end of the day, that speaks maybe more than words do. I think that people can feel the intention. It's like the difference between like your grandmother's food and a restaurant's food, right? There's something that's always different about it, and that's the way that we try to make movies, and it's the way I try to live, and I don't know, maybe Colleen just felt that.
At the New York premiere of It Ends With Us, eagle-eyed fans noticed a glaring absence of group photos featuring the main cast. This fueled speculation further, especially after social media users discovered that several cast members, including Blake Lively, had unfollowed Justin Baldoni on Instagram, a move many considered a significant red flag. As the press tour kicked off, tensions appeared to escalate, and Blake's approach to promoting the movie came under heavy criticism online. Many took issue with how Blake handled the promotional efforts, arguing that she focused more on florals, fashion, and her hair care line rather than addressing the serious issues explored in the story. During one event, she even invited fans to grab their florals to see the movie, a move that left critics and fans questioning the tone and sincerity of the promotion. This added another layer of controversy to an already fraught situation.
With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals.
This particular comment from Blake Lively struck a nerve with many, as it was widely deemed tone-deaf given the film's serious subject matter. Instead, she was encouraged to maintain a lighthearted tone while promoting the film, in stark contrast to the serious themes portrayed. As the press tour progressed, many suspected that it wasn't until Justin Baldoni saw the public reception that he decided to go rogue. His Puerto Rico team allegedly pushed for a more authentic approach, which resulted in Justin being portrayed as the only serious member of the cast. This shift led fans to believe that there was an elaborate effort to smear Blake's name in the media, with one fan commenting that they felt manipulated into blaming Blake, while the real responsibility likely lay with the entire team of studio executives and producers. The fan expressed disdain for Justin's actions, stating, "Justin is a gross man for going rogue at the expense of Blake's reputation." They also noted that Blake's behavior during the promotional campaign now made more sense, adding, "I feel terrible she went through that, it's horrible."
This alleged smear campaign caused what Blake described as substantial harm to both her personal and professional life.
Someone who actually works in Hollywood, but Blake Lively? She brought in a man who specializes in government propaganda. The level of overkill here is so embarrassing. It's hard to watch. And here's what she clearly doesn't understand. The public isn't stupid. People can see through this nonsense. When a celebrity starts hiring intelligence agents to control their PR, it doesn't make them look innocent. It makes them look like they are hiding something big. And Blake Lively? She failed spectacularly.
A lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit. His lawyer is already giving interviews explaining just how nasty her team has played this.
This was supposed to be her big move, the power play to take down Baldoni, but instead, she has completely taken down herself. And what's even crazier, she didn't have to do any of this. If she had just stayed quiet, if she had just focused on her legal case, maybe things wouldn't have spiraled out of control like this. But instead, she went way too far, and now it's all blowing up in her face. Her legal team is falling apart. Her PR strategy has collapsed. And no matter how much she tries to twist the story, people are seeing right through it.
That's what he's doing.
My money is on Blake Lively being wrong.
At this point, her only smart option is to accept the loss and move on. But let's be honest, she won't. She's going to keep pushing, she's going to keep trying, and she's going to keep making things worse for herself. Because this is what happens when you don't know when to stop. Blake Lively wanted this fight. She wanted to take down Baldoni. She wanted to win. But now, she's the one losing. And not just in court, she's losing in the public eye too. The worst part? She doesn't even realize it yet. She's still playing the game, still trying to twist the story in her favor, but the more she tries, the more obvious it becomes. She isn't the victim. She's the one pulling the strings.
And I have to say that the blowback to Ryan Reynolds, I think, is going to be pretty severe.
And when the dust settles, people aren't going to remember the lawyers or the CIA agent. They're going to remember the truth. And the truth is simple. Blake Lively played herself. The only thing people will remember is that Blake Lively played herself. She had every opportunity to step back, rethink her approach, and actually build a strong legal case. But instead, she doubled down on the worst possible strategy. And now it's too late to undo the damage. No matter how much money she throws at PR experts, no matter how many times she tries to shift the narrative, the internet doesn't forget.
I think it's getting worse for her. And then she keeps doubling down. Well, she has to double down because you can't walk her back now. She's gone too far.
People have already made up their minds, and the overwhelming consensus is clear. Blake Lively went too far. She thought she could weaponize the legal system for her own personal gain. Justin Baldoni appeared to take a contrasting approach during the press tour. He focused on the deeper themes of the movie and engaged in discussions about the real and significant topics portrayed in the story. This stark difference in their promotional strategies only added to the ongoing controversy surrounding the film and its production.
What about the why behind it? If a Lily Bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her, maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself, that's why I made it.
However, fans quickly noticed Justin Baldoni's silence regarding the controversies surrounding his co-star, Blake Lively. As Blake faced an overwhelming wave of online hate, Justin refrained from addressing the backlash against her. Instead, reports surfaced that he had hired Melissa Nathan, a high-profile crisis manager known for representing Johnny Depp during his legal battles. This move raised eyebrows, with many questioning why the director of a seemingly straightforward romantic drama needed such a heavy PR strategy.
Even members of the film's production team and cast have come forward to side with Blake after she took a brave stand. Brandon Skinner, who had already defended her during the film's press tour, has since reinforced his support for her, calling her a respected professional. Fans are now speculating that Blake might have kept silent regarding all that has happened until now, as her legal team was gathering the necessary evidence to expose Justin, something that seems to have worked incredibly well. This complex situation seems to reflect both a clash of personal interests and the challenge of balancing corporate pressure with a genuine desire to promote the film in a meaningful way. This situation definitely reveals a lot of complexity with multiple perspectives at play. The dynamics between Blake, Justin, and the media, especially the way Blake's public image was targeted, add layers of intrigue.
While some individuals stepped forward to defend Blake amid the ongoing smear campaign, Justin's continued silence spoke volumes. His unwillingness to publicly support Blake added fuel to the fire. In fact, one of his comments seemed to exacerbate the situation. He referred to Blake as a creative force who had taken control behind the scenes, a remark that many interpreted as a subtle criticism of the influence she and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, reportedly wielded on set. Justin's decision to remain silent, coupled with his hiring of a crisis PR team, led fans to speculate that he was intentionally distancing himself from Blake amidst the controversy. 4 months after the release of It Ends With Us, the off-screen drama surrounding its production escalated to a shocking new level. Blake Lively officially filed a legal complaint against Justin Baldoni, accusing him of creating a hostile work environment and engaging in deeply inappropriate behavior on set.
In my view, is Ryan Reynolds is now abusing his wife. This is like litigation abuse. He is trying to inflict pain Again, this is my perspective.
Blake Lively stood in the courtroom with everyone watching. The air was tense and silent. She took a deep breath and prepared to speak. Then came a shocking twist. Blake revealed something about her own husband, Ryan Reynolds, right there under oath. Gasps filled the room. It felt like Hollywood's perfect wife had just snitched on her famous husband in front of the judge.
As we know, Justin Baldoni just dropped a hefty lawsuit to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for a whopping $400 million. Blake Lively has officially entered the chat. She just released a statement saying this is an old age story.
This real-life drama began on a movie set and exploded into a massive $400 million courtroom showdown after Blake accused her co-star, Justin Baldoni, of terrible on-set behavior. Justin denied it and hit back with a huge lawsuit, claiming Blake and even a major newspaper tried to smear him. He didn't stop there. He dragged Ryan Reynolds into the case too. Now Hollywood's golden couple is caught in a legal firestorm, their reputations on the line and secrets ready to spill.
Okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively, it's not Justin Baldoni, but it is Ryan Reynolds.
Inside the court, evidence is spilling out fast. Private emails and text messages have been dragged into the open. One text even showed Ryan gushing over Justin Baldoni, calling him dynamic and saying, "I happen to adore you, Justin." Imagine that coming out when Blake is accusing this same man of awful deeds. Blake's courtroom revelation of Ryan's private words hit like a bombshell. Is she betraying Ryan, or is she just desperate to tell the truth? One thing is clear, this case is revealing secrets no one saw coming, and the drama is only getting started. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have just made one of the most surprising and extreme moves in their legal battle against Justin Baldoni. Instead of relying on their lawyers to fight the case in court, instead of presenting strong evidence to back up their claims, instead of hiring better legal experts to stop losing over and over again, they took an entirely different route. They hired a former CIA agent, a man whose entire career revolves around manipulating the media and shaping public perception. And no, this isn't some normal Hollywood PR specialist. This is a guy with actual government training, someone who has spent years behind the scenes in intelligence agencies, spinning stories, covering up scandals, and controlling what the public thinks is true.
Why she hired someone who works in political crisis PR management, we don't know. And this is all very ironic because Lively's team was very critical of Justin Baldoni using a crisis PR team last summer.
Think about that for a second. Blake Lively, an actress who has spent years building her reputation as America's sweetheart, the friendly and down-to-earth celebrity, has just made one of the most desperate PR moves Hollywood has seen in years. She has now brought in a government-trained specialist to help clean up her public image. If that doesn't make her look guilty, then what does?
What though?
And unstable.
Justin is suing the New York Times for $250 million. Holy hell, this is insane. I mean, he's gonna have a hard time proving it, right? I mean, we're gonna have to see. No one just sues the New York Times, or do they? I don't.
But Baldoni's lawsuit paints a different picture. In it, he claims that the New York Times selectively quoted texts and emails, stripping them of critical context to make him look like a villain. He argues that the article has caused irreparable harm to his career and personal life, and he's seeking $250 million in damages. On June 2nd, 2023, Blake Lively began a text exchange with her It Ends With Us director and co-star, Justin Baldoni, who blamed her assistant for not getting her an updated batch of script pages. She didn't realize they were new. This lawsuit comes after the public turned against her during the press tour for It Ends With Us ever since the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel was announced in 2019. Anticipation has been sky-high. With over 20 million copies sold worldwide and the novel becoming a TikTok sensation, fans had immense expectations. However, the announcement of Blake Lively, famous for her role as Serena van der Woodsen in Gossip Girl, being cast as Lily Bloom left many fans skeptical. Their concerns grew after set photos revealed unexpected costume designs for her character. The tension escalated even before filming began, as reports surfaced about conflicts between Blake and Justin Baldoni, who not only directed the film but also starred as Ryle Kincaid. While the exact reasons for their clashes remain unclear, whispers of creative disagreements and a strained dynamic behind the scenes began circulating early on, adding fuel to the already heated controversy surrounding the project. The speculation surrounding Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni only grew stronger when fans noticed that Justin appeared to keep his distance from the rest of the cast during production. Now, with the recent news of Blake's lawsuit, fans are revisiting everything that transpired before and during the press tour with a fresh perspective. Justin has been accused of inappropriate behavior on set and slandering Blake's character throughout the filming process. Strategic moves by the attorneys, and glimpses into what might happen during the main trial. According to unofficial sources, the presiding judge spent the bulk of the session reviewing the nature of the allegations, the potential scope of the upcoming trial, and each legal team's readiness to proceed with what promises to be a complicated series of proceedings. Everyone was prepared for this to be an intense opening act, and they were not disappointed. Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, arrived with an unmistakably combative stance. From the moment he entered the courtroom, Friedman made it clear that he had come to protect his client's interests fervently. Clad in a tailored suit and radiating a confident demeanor, he spared no effort in challenging Blake's legal team at every turn. Friedman insisted that Blake's lawsuit lacked firm evidence and characterized it as an attempt to damage Justin's name in the public eye. During these opening arguments, Friedman leveled criticisms against Blake's attorneys for trying to manipulate the media narrative before Justin had even had the chance to properly respond. This claim was bolstered by the fact that, earlier in the dispute, Blake's side had circulated information to a prominent news outlet with scarcely half a day's notice given to Justin. Unsurprisingly, Friedman expressed outrage at what he perceived as a tactic designed to box his client into a corner. Blake's attorneys responded forcefully, denying that their client was engaged in any effort to skew public perception. They maintained that Blake was the genuine victim of serious wrongdoing and had only gone public to ensure that the relevant facts were brought to light. Despite their insistence, Friedman quickly gained the upper hand in this early round by reminding the court that the original media coverage, which showcased very damaging statements against Justin, placed him in a defensive position from the beginning. Friedman used this point to argue that Justin had every right to defend himself in an equally visible manner, whether that involved speaking to journalists, posting on social media, or even hosting a dedicated website to display what Friedman described as incontrovertible evidence. Friedman's determination was so striking. During production, signs of tension were evident.